Hi, Nojoule here. Let me introduce you to my interactive energy shield asset designed to enhance your games. Okay, that sounds more professional than it probably is. Anyway, in this video I'll start by giving you a quick overview of its features and visual settings. This will help you decide if it's a good fit for your game or if you'd like to repurpose parts of it in your own projects. The asset is freely available on the Godot asset store, or will be, not sure when the video airs, but you can also find it on my GitHub. Links to both are in the description. Feel free to check them out. After the overview, I'll dive into the shader's inner workings and walk you through the math step by step so you can understand exactly how it all comes together. If you find this kind of content helpful or interesting, let me know in the comments. Your feedback will help me plan future videos. Here's a quick showcase of the example scene available on my GitHub. This energy shield is interactive, so mouse clicks can trigger impacts and you can collapse or generate the shield dynamically. It's fully customizable with a wide range of colors, ensuring it fits seamlessly into various visual styles. Nearby objects or intersections with them can be highlighted, which allows for some interesting effects. For a more stylized cartoony aesthetic, you can enable quantization. Okay, I'm gonna have to do a lot of cutting in my videos. You can enable quantization, giving the shield a pixelated or stepped effect. By adding a noise texture, you can modify the highlight effects, giving you more control, allowing for more unique characteristics. Lastly, static waves can be added with fully adjustable settings to fine-tune their look and behavior, as well as the impact waves. Now towards the explanation. The energy shield's look comes mostly from the Fresnel effect. You can calculate it with this simple function. Basically, it makes certain parts of the shield brighter depending on how the surface is angled compared to the camera. When you multiply it with color and brightness, you get this cool effect. Now things are about to get a bit more mathematical, and this is where we get to today's sponsor, Brilliant. Just kidding. I mean, it's my first video, come on guys. But seriously, if you enjoy content like this, you can support me by subscribing, liking the video. At the moment I have 0 subscribers, so I'd rather have the video not disappear into the void, so please help me out. And sometimes I'm also streaming on Twitch to my awesome 27 followers. That's it. 27 followers. So if you like Gamedev and want to follow me on my Gamedev journey I'm starting, follow me on there. And now, after the shameless plug, let's get back to the video. One of the standout elements of this shader is the wave effect that travels through and modifies the shield. This is achieved by offsetting the surface based on its distance from the point of origin. To avoid sharp edges at the wave's center where it would otherwise be mirrored, the effect is smoothed over a certain range. Think of it like pressing with a finger instead of a needle. It distributes the force more evenly. Finally, the wave gradually fades out as it travels farther, giving it a natural, more polished look. For waves that aren't continuous, like when an object hits the shield, the offset works a bit differently. These waves have a clear start and end, traveling across the surface while fading over time and distance. Let's take a closer look at how the wave offsets compared to the surface. To ensure a smooth start, we use the ease-in curve of a sine wave at the wave's origin. The problem with this approach is that the surface would initially start at the wave's maximum amplitude, which looks awkward and needs to be avoided. To fix this, we scale the wave down and shift it so it transitions smoothly and matches the conditions we want. Finally, we control the fading by deciding how many oscillations or swings the wave should have before it disappears. Using this offset, we can move the surface vertices to create the wave effect. However, if the surface has fewer vertices, the wave can look a bit rigid and we lose some detail. To fix this, we calculate the surface normal, which lets us get a more precise Fresnel effect for each pixel. This keeps the waves looking smooth and detailed even on surfaces with fewer vertices. Just a quick background information or reminder. Normals are vectors that show which direction the surface is facing, and here's a common way to visualize normals by mapping their XYZ components to red, green and blue colors. To calculate the correct normal at the fragment's position, we take as input the original surface normal and the direction of the wave. We want the wave to offset the surface along its normal, like this. And we see that the surface angle changes. So let's look at one position. Here, the surface normal of a wave does not face straight up anymore like on a plane. And to get the normal, we can first calculate the slope at the current position and from that the wave normal. For the slope, we can calculate the derivative of our wave function. And by calculate, I mean just looking it up. So the derivative of our function here is this. In the shader, it looks like that. From the perspective of the wave, we only have two relevant coordinates. The distance to the origin, x, and the direction of the surface offset, y. To get the normal in these specific conditions, we could just flip the coordinates, so instead of vector x, y, the normal is minus y, x. But because I tend to overcomplicate things, we see this function instead. It does essentially do the same given our restrictions, but I am just too lazy to simplify and re-record this part, so sorry for that. The wave direction and surface normal might vary, so we need to create orthogonal axes and project the simplified wave normal onto them. And this function does the trick for us. The x portion is along the original surface tangent and the y portion is along the original surface normal. On the plane, the original surface tangent equals the wave direction. But for a sphere, the surface tangent is different at every position. So we need to calculate it based on the original surface normal. Luckily, we get that from the Godot fragment shader. To sum it up, we calculate the normal in the fragment shader so we can still fake a smooth wave with lower vertices or when we get really close to an object. Thank you for watching through it and let me know if this helped you in some way, and especially if you're using it in any of your games.